Hi there. Okay, so I talk all the time about people not letting things get to them, and maybe I ought to take my own advice. We have been switching over the internet here. Any problem that could possibly arise in switching internet has happened. And people come in and they put in the equipment and they say, okay, you're all great, and then nothing works, and then you have to put in a work order for them to come back. You get what I'm saying? So it's just an ongoing theme. If you are irritated, if you're at the end of your rope, I totally understand. And please do not shame yourself the way I shame myself over low frustration tolerance in the midst of the pandemic and the internet switchover. Just not a good time to do anything like that. But welcome. I hope that I can give you something that could help you here as you're going through this. And got a question, and it really fits with what we're going to be talking about here. So here's the question. She asked this: I contemplate calling in about weight loss, but I'm just going to ask it. For the longest time, I've been wanting to lose weight. I can't get motivated. I'm 62 years old, divorced, and I just like to be healthy and feel good. And I'm not sure if it's something from my past. I just have no willpower. All right. So, and she also asked for a restoration Bible. They're free. I'll send it to her. You could get one by just emailing me at stevesocial@newlife.com. And it would just have to say, send me that restoration Bible for free, and I'll do it. So everything that I've been talking about in the first two sessions of Lose It for Life have been about gradual changes, and I've been trying to lay a groundwork, and I'm gonna do that here in just a minute. But sometimes we can't get into the gradual things because we can't get out of the old stuff, the routine. And so in Lose It for Life, there's a concept, and I just call it jumpstarting the process. So I never want in my weight loss program to do something I can't do for the rest of my life, or it's kind of senseless. I'm just going to gain the weight back. But how do I get into the process? Jumpstart is what I call it. So here's what we may need to do. We have to break our routine. How do I do that? For some people, it's go from sunset over here. Let's say the sun sets at 7 p.m. I stop eating at 7 p.m. and I don't eat again until the next day at sunset too. So I go 24 hours, but I'm eating over here on this day, and then I start eating at 7 over on this day. So I've gone 24 hours, and sometimes that kind of fast takes care of everything. Another way to do it: I wake up in the morning and I have breakfast, but then I just drink water all day long and have that kind of fast. That breaks the routine. Now I'm able to get into whatever it is to change the way that I eat. Another way to do it: slim fast shakes. I joke about these things, but maybe the way you get out of your patterns is you say, for a day, I'm going to drink 6 slim fast shakes. Now, I don't even know what the calorie count on that is, but the point is, I'm not going to my normal foods. I'm doing something different. I'm breaking the pattern. Another thing that you might want to do is look at getting rid of all of the stuff in your house that's a problem for you, and then do whatever it is in the jump start to change the routine and kind of reset the brain. So let's just say my weakness is chocolate ice cream. Get rid of it. Get it out of the house. Now I do a chocolate slim fast shake fast for 12 hours, and then I begin eating the way I'm going to tell you to eat in the program here. So it's a jump start first. Get the book, Lose It for Life. All of this is in there, and I hope that that's helpful to her. Now, the third installment is today on Lose It for Life. And we've talked about some truths that we need to comprehend. And we've talked about some really bold-faced lies that we need to contradict and address. And right now, I'd like to talk about some tough attitudes that we have to confront if we're going to be able to lose weight and keep it off for the rest of our lives. And again, we're talking about working from the inside out. And if you're looking for the quick fix and the instant solution, well, you can get weight off pretty quickly. But you're just going to be frustrated again when it all comes right back on. So, what is an attitude that I need to change that might help me down the road in my weight loss process? Well, here it is. What about the attitude of arrogant entitlement? 2 Peter 2:10 says this: He is especially hard on those who follow their own evil, lustful desires and who despise authority. These people are proud and arrogant. So let's just say that I am a little bit entitled. So I think I deserve stuff that makes me feel good, like a baby. In fact, maybe I would function under the title of king baby or queen baby. And I'm like a grown person, but I've got to have my way, got to have what I want, got to be comforted, see? So that's kind of like arrogant entitlement. I am constantly disappointed over the stuff that I have in my life. I'm constantly disappointed in everything that I have. And nobody can meet my need. Nobody whatsoever. And so I'm struggling all the time because nobody is meeting my need enough. Now, a lot of times we haven't been abused in the sense of physical abuse or abused like neglect, but we've been overindulged. Let's say I'm a woman and I have a dad, and he makes me believe that everything is just so wonderful and fascinating about you that I just, I love you, and you walk in a room and everything stops and you start thinking that's the way you're going to be treated the rest of your life because he was too obsessed with you. He was too enmeshed with you. And so you walk out of there thinking you deserve everything, including whenever I have a little bit of discomfort, I got to fix that, and I fix it with food. So arrogant entitlement in all things causes me to think I'm entitled to eat whatever food, or when I don't get what I want, I got to have the food to comfort me in my disappointment. Second attitude, stubborn resistance. Acts 7:15 says this: You stubborn people, you are heathen at heart, deaf to the truth. Must you forever resist the Holy Spirit? But your ancestors did, and so do you. Now, there's no person that I know of that was more resistant than Pharaoh, refusing to respond to all of those things that were happening, to all the plagues and stuff. And around him, were these magicians that were trying to duplicate everything. And at one point, even the magicians, their jobs depended on it, but even they said to Pharaoh, hey, this is the finger of God. They believed. Like the soldiers at the crucifixion. They look up and this is truly the Son of God. So in our stubbornness, we can get so stuck that we don't move forward and nothing helps. We won't listen. We won't try. We won't risk. Say, I've tried everything. Nothing can help me. All that kind of stuff. And so I'm reactive in everything I do, protective of myself and my comfort, and I'm defensive. And so that's how I live, with that stubborn resistance. And it isn't pretty. It's miserable. And people don't like to be around it. Okay. Then the third one, justifiable resentment. Proverbs 27:3 says this: A stone is heavy and sand is weighty, but the resentment caused by a fool is heavier than both. Ephesians 4:31 says, Get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and slander, as well as all types of malicious behavior. So, if I'm resentful, and I can justify that resentment, then I'm going to hold on to it. And I can feed this wound And if somebody comes along and says, boy, if I were you, I would just really be angry too, and I can justify it, then I'm not going to say, okay, I need to forgive this as quickly as possible. And so I consume poison, bitter poison, at my own hand because I am bitter and resentful and angry, and I don't forgive. So what we want to do, if we're going to lose weight from the inside out, we got to give up my stubborn resistance to anything being helpful, my arrogant entitlement that I deserve everything, and my justifiable resentment, thinking that, boy, I'll tell you, I have a right to be angry and bitter. There's nothing in Scripture that says you are entitled to stay angry. There's no program I know of that if you work it, you end up angry and bitter. And so the angry, bitter person will either lash out or passively aggressively punish you by getting overweight and showing you how miserable life can be, or they comfort themselves. The person who is so resistant to everything ends up proving that they are hopeless and helpless and in this state of learned helplessness. So when we change our thinking, when we start to view all of this from a different perspective, I can implement a plan that's going to change things. And the next time we're together, we're going to talk about the connections that I need to make and correct if things are going to be better. Now, you see, I haven't even talked about food, have I? Well, other than in the Jumpstart situation where, maybe you change what you eat to kind of change the pattern. But I'm talking about attitude, thoughts, connection to God, the spiritual aspect of life. That's truly at the heart, literally at the heart of what we're dealing with here. And when we deal with that, then the rest, well, it's going to last. It's not going to be fleeting. And we're going to be really happy that we laid this solid foundation, right attitude, truth, get rid of the lies, and then next time we're together, these vital connections that make it work. All right, so glad that you were able to just to stay focused on this. I hope it's helpful to you. And next time, we will deal with all of those helpful connections and how to correct the ones that aren't. So, I'll see you next time. And until then, try to do a better job than me at dealing with the day-to-day COVID-19 frustrations. And just pray for me. And we'll get the internet in. Life will be easier. And I'll be able to function without any kind of justifiable resentment over the internet company. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.